Steve, these past couple weeks with the team getting some time off, what have you had a chance to look at on film?
Well, it's been one to get away from it. That's been good. Everybody got home with families, and to have 3 days with families and friends and kind of take a break from basketball was good. And then getting back at it, I was very impressed. I've been doing this 25 years, and this might have been our best off of break practice that we had when we came back the day after Christmas. And usually those are bad practices because you've been with family and friends and eating, and you come back and you're very sluggish. And we had a great spirited practice. So I've been very impressed with how our guys have come back. I think they feel good about where they're at 13 games in, and we're as prepared as we can be going into league play. It's just never easy when you got to start on the road. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge as we get things started. But I really like where the guys are at.
Does the non-conference success that you guys have this year, is that what's kind of maybe feeding into the spiritedness of the practices?
Well, we hope so. Obviously, we're getting ready to start a very demanding league. Whether it was last week or this week, we've been number one, we've been number two as a league, and teams in our league have done very well outside of the league, getting a lot of quality wins. So I think it bodes very well to have a 2.5 month stretch here. It's going to be a lot of fun for fans and teams as they compete and they try to get wins, because wins are going to be hard to come by. But our guys are carrying themselves with just a good demeanor right now. They're working very hard, and yet there's a swag to them, there's a confidence to them that I really like, and I think we're seeing some growth at both ends, and we're going to need to grow at both ends with the schedule we're getting ready to undertake.
Andrew Andrews for Washington leads the conference in scoring. What have you seen from him that maybe a lot of them have that kind of success?
Well, Washington plays very fast, maybe as fast as any team in the country, especially any team in our league. Their tempo is great, and Andrew has a lot to do with that. He comes off a lot of ball screens. The ball gets pushed very quickly. He gets shots a variety of ways, but he's always been a good scorer, I think, for him. Now he's turned into a great scorer going into his senior year, and those are the type of development things you always like to see in players. And Coach Romar and his staff have done a really good job with him and putting him in positions to where he can use his ability to score, and he's got a great knack for being able to score.
Andrew's like a lot of the top scorers in the conference this year are seniors. Why do you maybe think that is?
Well, I don't know if that's the way it always happens here in the Pac-12, because we have so many we're starting to get a lot of really good one-and-dones as well, but that's partaking in our league. But, the underclassmen, they should have a good understanding plan at home and on the road in neutral sites. And so, obviously, it's just like at Norman last year. Norman ended up being our leading scorer. He wasn't our leading scorer in any of the first 3 years of his career. You grow into that and kind of wait your turn, and depending on the teams that you're on. But usually the teams that are laden with juniors and seniors have a lot of experience on them, and guys that know how to put the ball in the basket and have learned that system offensively very well. So I think that's one of the reasons why that happens.
Have you noticed that with some of your guys like Bryce and Isaac now being juniors?
Yeah, and even Tony. Tony's numbers are up. So, Tony's our senior, and then you got 2 juniors that are playing in Bryce and Isaac, and those guys' numbers continue to climb. So, and it's not always, I think, in regard to points. It's also in what's your assist turnovers like, or in Tony, what's your rebounding like. And right now he's rebounding at a higher level than he's ever rebounded. He's scoring at a higher level. So you just want the seasoning and the experience to kick in of understanding how to play at this level. And then understanding playing at this level, you become consistent. And that's what we were very fortunate. I thought in year one, we got very consistent play out of the Ware twins. They were fifth-year seniors. We got very consistent play last year out of Norman. He's a 4-year guy. And we're getting through 13 games. We've had really good experience out of our vets and good consistency out of our vets. And we're going to need that as we start league play. And then those young guys have to do the things that they do and they can bring to the table that really help push us over the top. And that's I hope that's going to happen, because we really like what our young guys are doing.
How are Prince and Georgie doing?
Prince has been great. Prince has practiced the last couple of days, so it's just a matter of him getting, I think, a lot of reps, doing some extra conditioning, because he did miss 2.5 weeks. So he's come back off the break, and so there's no problems with his health. Gigi's kind of a wait and see because of the nature of his injury. It's not about taking x-rays every week. It's about how he feels, and he's progressing very well. And I think he's going to be doubtful for this trip, and then hopefully he can just continue to advance in what he's doing. But he is getting better. We just hope it's sooner than later that we get him back in the mold, because he does give us another guy of experience that played last year in the Pac-12, that's been to these facilities and been a part of a league drive, that he could really help us coming off the bench and make us even deeper.
What has he been able to do rehab-wise?
He's been accelerated on the bike. He's been accelerated on like treadmills and those type of things. So each week they just, Shane, our trainer, and our doctors, our medical staff are just putting him through extra stuff. And I think it started as simple as walking and jogging, to the simplicity of getting on a bike, to now it's treadmill stuff, and just trying to gradually take him up to see what's tolerable. And so far, everything has been tolerable. So it tells, I think, the medical staff things are healing very nicely. They're not ready to say he's ready to go yet, or even get him on the practice court. But we're hopeful that in the near future he gets on the practice court and you can get a really true feed on and feel of where he's at from a health standpoint.
What do you want to see more from Jonah heading into conference play?
You know, he's just getting some more reps, and I think Jonah, the best is yet to come with him. You know, both offensively and defensively. He's extremely long, 6'9". He's got, you know, a longer wingspan than Kyle Anderson, and Kyle was very, very special for us here, and I think you're going to see that eventually in Jonah. He's got a good IQ, so he knows how to play the game. It's just about getting reps. You know, he missed a year and a half, and people kind of forget he was injured a lot in the summer. He had knee surgery in the summer, so that's kind of slowed him. He's just now really trying to, I think, showing that he's in basketball shape, both mentally and physically. And I really hope he has a big league for us, because if his numbers go up in league play, I think you'll see our team go. You know, you'll see our level of play rise as well, because he's so versatile. We can play him at big guard. We can play a 4-guard lineup and play him at the 4 spot. He can guard a lot of different positions, scores a little bit different ways. He can drive it. He can shoot it to the 3-point line. We can post him against smaller guards. And he's got the potential of being a really good rebounder and defender. So I think he's a big key for us coming off the bench.
Do you need him to establish himself as a scorer more, or is it just more about the defense and the rebounding and things like that?
Well, I think anything that he does that adds to, whether it's our scoring, to our assist turnovers, to making right basketball plays, that's going to make us better. And that's what we need Jonah to do, and do it more consistently. And, you know, I think he's starting to show signs of that. And I think a lot of it's because he's starting to get reps. You know, didn't play in game 1. Then we've had such a tough schedule, getting him in a lot of minutes. It's only started here in the last 2 weeks where he started getting a lot of minutes, and I think he's starting to gain a lot of that momentum and confidence a lot of players do. And, you know, hopefully, I think he's been practicing very well, but with his talent, he can do a lot of things for us to help us become a better team.